Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube, folks. Today we are going to be talking Yokai Swap Nervos Network, CKB, and we are going to celebrate. So with that said, let's look at Yokai Swap's IDO. This thing ends in 15 hours from the time of this video approximately. I threw 50,000 CKB at this thing, no big deal, but I'm standing to receive around 400 yoke. I would estimate that this goes down as more and more CKB becomes committed. Now there's 1.2 billion CKB that flowed into this pool. And so the more CKB that you submitted, the higher likelihood that you would get more yoke than somebody that deposited, let's just say 1,000 CKB. So with that said, I wish I would have thrown 150,000 CKB at this. This is not financial or trading advice at all, by the way. So there are risks to this. You know, you just have to do what you got to do. So I'll be getting refunded around 49,700. Not that big of a deal. Let's get into a few other things. Follow me on Twitter. And this is where I debuted my new segment coming to the channel tomorrow. On Wednesdays, we will have Six Fig Stock Traders Rug Pull. Now, this thing has done very well since I released it. Lots of good positive feedback. So thank you all who watched it and liked the video. This was great to see. We've got lots of good views, lots of good likes, some good comments. So I think we're going to have a little bit of fun with Six Fig Stock Traders Rug Pull Wednesday. Now let's get on to the TA. So here we have CKB. And what in the world is going on with CKB right now, folks? Well, we can see that we have a very nice symmetrical triangle that is forming. In addition, we can see that the squeeze is on. And we are currently looking at a 4-hour chart. And it does appear at this point in time that we may in fact see price action come down to the 0.028 level, and we may in fact retest this 50 moving average, but we still do have the conversion line and baseline in the Ichimoku cloud trading parallel with each other. So should this red line start trending upwards, boy, I think we're going to see another price skyrocket. So one thing that's for sure is that we can go ahead and kind of throw some trend lines on this price action here, and that's where we get our symmetrical triangle. The good thing about this is we don't really have any crazy full-bodied bearish candles at the moment like this, and the wick is stopping at the trend line. So in past run-ups, I want to just make it clear. Let's go over to the one-day chart. So on past run-ups, we can see that price action really does love to bounce off the shoulder of these clouds. Here we can see an example of that. So price action kind of bounced right off this shoulder of the cloud. We kind of saw the same thing somewhere in here. We got in the general area of the shoulder, price action kind of bounced, but this was from when Voyager listed CKB. But here again, we can see that this price action kind of bounced off this shoulder, and we can kind of see how, within this general vicinity of the shoulder, price action bounced. So I do think that CKB does like a good old bounce off of the Ichimoku cloud. And this is more evident when we look at a 12-hour chart. And we can see how price comes in, bounces off the shoulder of the cloud, 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 and then this thing just goes parabolic. That's when we might know that the top is somewhere near us. So let's look at this thing at a super high level on the 12-hour chart. You can kind of see how price action is bouncing off the shoulders of this cloud. So it wouldn't surprise me that over the next few days, unless we go like crazy parabolic, that we might see price action just kind of do one of these and then bounce off of the shoulder. Now, in the last video I did on CKB, and this is very important, folks, that you like the video so other people can see this too. It also helps the channel beyond your wildest imagination. So thank you to everyone who supports the channel by liking the video. I do sincerely appreciate it. Now, I was able to find a couple time sequence that looked good. So if we measure from this swing high here to this swing low here, we can get a very nice Fibonacci time sequence reversal prediction that happened. We can confirm this in hindsight. Now, when I'm seeing this December 10th time frame, I'm thinking the December 9th, 10th, maybe 11th time frame is when we might get this next bounce to the upside. So if you see CKB kind of dogging into this 0.028, 0.029-ish level, don't be too alarmed. I'd say if you see this thing trading below 0.026, 0.027s, I don't know. Could look a little iffy. But for now, I do think that this next bounce could be the bounce that produces the next test of the all-time high. Possibly. And this is within the next 9 to 10 days. Now, let's see what's hanging us up right now, because this is very important that we have an idea of this. So if we just throw up an extension, we can see how price action is really reacting with the 786. And this is probably the top two resistance and support areas that we may see. I'm going to just say resistance areas, because the 61.8 and the 786 are prone to heavy resistance when price action meets these levels. So I do think that it would make sense to just see this price action just kind of do one of these. We might just be flying up and down in between 0.028 and 0.035 over the next week and a half. Just a prediction. I'm not always right. But with that said, I think we do have a pretty clear picture of what exactly is going on. And we need this huge run-up, folks. And this is going to be a very sad thing if I'm about to point this out to you guys, if this happens, okay? So if we see this rising wedge form, it's over for Nervous Network CKB for the time being. We do not want price action to wiggle up into here and then drop out. That is the worst thing that can happen. What we really need is this test up to meet the all-time highs and go into price discovery mode. And we really, really need to straighten this into a channel. And so we're going to need at least 5 cents within, by mid-December. So this is what we need to have happen for the time being. So if Bitcoin acts up and wets the bed, as it sometimes does, we may in fact be looking at some sort of movement to the downside. I'm hoping not. But let's look at Bitcoin. And this is going to be a very important lesson that we all learn here today. So Bitcoin right now, we're just on the 12-hour chart, has some indecisive candles. And we can see this because currently this candle has some pretty long wicks on both sides. We can see the bulls. I'm going to zoom in on this so everyone can see it. The bulls are buying up the coin. The bears are selling it off. The bears are selling down the coin. Bulls are buying it back up. So far, bulls have maintained momentum for this session. So with that said, we are sitting pretty. A nice bounce off the 200. We're coming up underneath this Ichimoku cloud. We got the 50 moving average here. That might give us a little bit of problems at around 60K is my guess. But over the next few days, if Bitcoin can get its act together, we do have a very nice thin area of trajectory where price action can easily float through this weak spot of the cloud and continue its climb. So right now, this is the trend line that we're all betting on that dates back to July 20th. And what we're doing is just looking for another one of these lobs to the upside. Could happen. Nobody knows, and that's the correct answer. But for now, it just kind of looks like some nasty little A, B, C, D, E corrective wave played out here. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. But the conversion line is underneath the baseline on the 12-hour chart, and we can see that if this moves in an upward direction, we will see price respond with some heavy velocity, kind of like what happened back in here. See, price action ran up a little bit enough to curve the conversion line, and then it was all over. So I'm hoping that's what happens again. A very similar setup to what we saw here. I mean, if you look at this time frame and compare it to this time frame, it's very, very similar. So hopefully we get things in order here with Bitcoin over the next few days. I'm excited to see it at 57.5. I think for now, as long as people can gain confidence and it can stay above like 53.5, we should be sitting good. Thanks, guys. I hope you guys can just smash that like button on the way out. I totally appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much to all the Patreons. I do wish you all well. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, it's $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.